Hi everyone! You're watching Fluent Talk Daily, where we help you speak English confidently every day.
Hey there! We're so glad you're here with us today.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Mike.
On this podcast, we help you practice real, natural English through conversations about everyday topics.
Today we're going to talk about study habits. How do you study? When do you study? What helps you learn?
It's a really useful topic, especially if you're learning English or studying anything new.
Before we start, please remember to follow our podcast and leave us a like. It really helps other learners find us.
Okay, let's jump in. So, Mike, I have to ask you something.
Sure. What is it?
Last night, I sent you a message at 10 p.m. and you didn't reply. Were you asleep already?
No, I was studying, actually.
At 10 p.m., really?
Yes, that's my best time to study. I'm a night person. My brain works better at night.
Wow, that's so different from me. I can't study at night. After 8 p.m., my brain is tired. I just want to watch TV or read something easy.
See? Everyone is different. I think that's the most important thing about studying. You need to know yourself.
That's true. So, you're a night owl.
A night owl. Yes, exactly. And what about you? When do you like to study?
I'm definitely a morning person. I like to study early, maybe around 7 or 8 in the morning. I wake up, I have my breakfast, and then I study for an hour or two.
Before work?
Yes, before work. My mind is fresh, I can focus better, everything is quiet.
I respect that, but I could never do it. In the morning, I'm like a zombie.
A zombie. That's funny. So you don't study in the morning at all?
Almost never. Maybe on weekends if I really need to, but on weekdays, no way. I study after dinner, usually from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m.
2 hours. That's good. Do you study every night?
Not every night. Maybe 4 or 5 times a week. On Fridays, I take a break. Friday is my free night.
That makes sense. Everyone needs a break. I study almost every day, but only for 1 hour. I think consistency is more important than studying for many hours.
I agree. It's better to study a little bit every day than to study for 6 hours one day and then nothing for a week.
Exactly. So let's talk about where we study. Where do you usually study, Mike?
I have a desk in my bedroom. I study there most of the time.
Is your desk organized?
Huh, not really. I have books everywhere. Papers, pens, my laptop. It's a little messy.
Does the mess bother you?
Sometimes. When it gets too messy, I can't focus. So, once a week, I clean my desk. I organize everything.
That's smart. A clean space helps you think clearly.
What about you? Where do you study?
I like to study in different places. Sometimes at home, at my kitchen table, sometimes at a cafe, sometimes at the library.
The library. That's interesting. Why do you like the library?
Because it's quiet and everyone there is also studying or reading. It gives me motivation. When I see other people working hard, I work hard too.
That's a good point. But don't you get distracted by people?
Not really. I usually sit in a corner away from everyone, and I wear headphones.
Ah, music. Do you listen to music when you study?
Sometimes, but not music with words. I listen to instrumental music or nature sounds,
Nature sounds. Like what?
like rain sounds, ocean waves, forest sounds. It helps me relax and concentrate.
Interesting. I listen to music too, but I listen to jazz or classical music, something calm.
Jazz is nice. Do you ever study in complete silence?
Rarely. I like having a little background sound. Total silence makes me feel uncomfortable. What about you?
I can do both. At the library, I like silence. At home, I prefer a little music.
So, we've talked about when and where we study. Now let's talk about how we study. What do you actually do when you study?
Good question. Well, it depends on what I'm studying. If I'm learning vocabulary, I use flashcards.
Physical flashcards or digital ones?
Both. I have an app on my phone, but I also make paper flashcards. I like writing things down. It helps me remember.
I'm the same way. Writing is very important for memory. When I learn new English words, I write them in a notebook. I write the word, the meaning, and an example sentence.
That's a great method. Do you review your notebook?
Yes, every Sunday I review all the words from that week. I read them again and try to remember them without looking at the meanings.
That's called active recall. It's a very effective study technique.
Active recall. I like that term. What else do you do when you study?
I make summaries. If I read something long, like an article or a chapter in a book, I write a short summary in my own words
Why do you do that?
because it helps me understand. If I can explain something simply, it means I really understand it.
That's smart. I should try that. I usually just highlight important parts when I read.
Highlighting is good too, but you have to be careful not to highlight too much.
Ha, you're right. Sometimes I highlight almost everything, and then it's not helpful.
Exactly. You should only highlight the most important ideas.
Good advice. Another thing I do is practice out loud, especially for language learning.
Oh, me too. When I learn new phrases, I say them out loud many times.
Yes, and I record myself sometimes. Then I listen to the recording.
That's brave. I don't like hearing my own voice.
Nobody does, but it's useful. You can hear your mistakes.
That's true. Okay, let's talk about something difficult. Distractions. What distracts you when you study?
Oh man, my phone is my biggest distraction.
Same. The phone is the enemy of studying.
I get messages, notifications. I want to check social media. It's terrible.
So, what do you do? How do you avoid this distraction?
I put my phone in another room, far away from me.
Really? You can do that?
I have to. If the phone is near me, I will pick it up. So I put it in the kitchen or the living room, and I stay in my bedroom to study.
That's a strong strategy. I'm not that strong. I keep my phone near me, but I turn off all notifications. I put it on Do Not Disturb mode.
Does that work?
Mostly, but sometimes I still pick it up. I tell myself just 1 minute, and then suddenly 20 minutes pass.
I know that feeling. That's why I remove the phone completely.
Maybe I should try your method. What about other distractions, like TV or family members?
I live alone, so family members are not a problem. But TV, yes, I have to turn off the TV. Even if it's just background noise, it distracts me.
I live with my sister, and sometimes she's noisy. She watches TV or talks on the phone.
That's tough. What do you do?
I tell her, I'm studying now for 1 hour. Please be quiet. Usually, she understands.
Communication is important.
Yes, and if it's too noisy at home, I go to the library or a cafe.
Good solution. Now, let's talk about breaks. Do you take breaks when you study?
Always. I can't study for 2 hours straight. I need breaks.
How often do you take a break?
Usually after 25 or 30 minutes. I study for 25 minutes, then I take a 5-minute break.
That's the Pomodoro technique.
Yes! Do you know it?
Of course. It's very popular. I use it sometimes.
It really works. The breaks help your brain rest.
What do you do during your break?
I stand up and stretch. Maybe I walk around my apartment. Sometimes I get a glass of water or a snack.
Do you look at your phone during breaks?
I try not to, because if I start looking at my phone, I can't stop.
Same problem. I try to use my break for physical movement. I do some exercises or I look out the window.
Looking out the window is good. It rests your eyes.
Exactly. After the break, I feel refreshed and I can focus again.
How many breaks do you take in 2 hours?
Maybe 3 or 4. So I study for about 25 minutes, break for 5 minutes, study again for 25 minutes, and so on.
That's a good rhythm. Okay, let's talk about study materials. What do you use when you study?
For English, I use many things. I have textbooks, I watch videos online, I listen to podcasts like this one.
Podcasts are great for learning. You can listen while you do other things.
True, but when I really study, I focus only on the podcast. I listen and I take notes.
Taking notes is important. What else do you use?
I use apps on my phone. There are so many good apps for learning languages.
Which apps do you like?
I like apps with daily lessons. Every day I get a new lesson and I practice for 10 or 15 minutes.
That's a good way to build a habit.
What materials do you use?
I love books. I have grammar books, vocabulary books, reading books. I'm a book person.
Do you prefer paper books or ebooks?
Paper books. I like holding a real book. And I can write notes in the margins.
I understand, but ebooks are convenient. You can carry many books on one device.
That's true. For traveling, ebooks are better. But at home, I prefer paper.
Fair enough. Do you ever study with other people?
Sometimes, I have a study group with 2 friends. We meet once a week.
What do you do in your study group?
We practice speaking English together. We choose a topic and we discuss it. We correct each other's mistakes.
That sounds helpful.
It is. And it's more fun than studying alone. We drink coffee and chat. It doesn't feel like hard work.
I mostly study alone. I'm more focused when I'm by myself.
I understand. Some people prefer solo studying. Some people prefer group studying.
Both have advantages. In a group, you can learn from others. Alone, you can go at your own pace.
Exactly. There's no right or wrong way. You have to find what works for you.
Speaking of finding what works, let's talk about some useful vocabulary. We've been using lots of good words in our conversation.
Oh, yes, great idea. Let's help our listeners remember these important words.
Okay. First word, focus. We said this word many times.
Focus means to concentrate, to give your attention to something. When you study, you need to focus on your book or your lesson.
Right. If you don't focus, you can't learn well. For example, I can't focus when my phone is near me.
Good example. Another sentence. I focus better in the morning.
Perfect. Next word, distraction. We talked about this a lot.
A distraction is something that takes your attention away from your work. It stops you from focusing.
Yes. Common distractions are phones, TV, noise, other people.
For example, social media is my biggest distraction when I study.
I need to avoid distractions to study effectively.
Good sentence. Now, another word. Consistent or consistency.
Ah, yes. Consistent means regular, steady, doing something the same way over time.
If you study consistently, you study regularly. Not just one day, but many days.
For example, Sarah studies every morning. She is very consistent.
And consistency is the noun. Consistency is important for learning.
Exactly. Next word, technique. This means a method or a way of doing something.
Yes, we talked about study techniques, different ways to study.
For example, flashcards are a useful study technique.
The Pomodoro technique helps me manage my time.
Great examples. Another word, review. This is an important study word.
To review means to look at something again, to study something you already learned.
Right. You learn something new, and then later you review it to remember it better. For example, I review my vocabulary notes every Sunday.
I always review my lessons before a test.
Very useful word. Now, how about memorize?
To memorize means to learn something so well that you can remember it without looking.
Yes, you put the information in your memory.
For example, I need to memorize these new words for my exam.
It's hard to memorize long lists.
True. What's another good word? Oh, concentrate.
Concentrate is similar to focus. It means to think carefully about something, to give it all your attention.
Yes, I can't concentrate when there's noise.
I concentrate better at night.
Okay, one more word. How about improve?
Improve means to get better, to make progress.
If you study regularly, your English will improve.
I want to improve my speaking skills.
Perfect.
All right, Sarah. We've talked about so many aspects of studying today.
We really have. Let's think about what we covered.
We started by talking about when we like to study. I'm a night person and you're a morning person.
That's right. We learned that everyone has a different best time for studying.
Then we talked about where we study. I study at my desk at home, and you like to study in different places like cafes and the library.
We also discussed listening to music while studying. Some people like silence, some people like background sounds.
Next, we talked about how we actually study. Making flashcards, writing notes, highlighting, making summaries.
We talked about saying things out loud and even recording yourself to practice.
Then we discussed the big problem, distractions, especially phones.
Yes, we shared our strategies for avoiding distractions, like putting your phone in another room or turning off notifications.
We also talked about taking breaks, the Pomodoro technique with 25 minutes of study and 5 minutes of break.
And we discussed study materials, books, apps, videos, podcasts.
Finally, we talked about studying alone versus studying with a group.
Both have advantages. It depends on your personality and your goals.
So we covered when, where, how, and what we use to study.
And now it's time for our favorite part.
The question of the day.
Today's question is, what is your biggest challenge when you study?
Ooh, this is a good one. So we want to know what's difficult for you. What's your biggest problem when you study?
Maybe your challenge is staying focused. Maybe it's finding time to study. Maybe it's understanding difficult material.
For me, my biggest challenge is staying off my phone. I get distracted so easily.
For me, my biggest challenge is studying things I don't find interesting. When something is boring, it's very hard to focus.
That's a real challenge. So listeners, what about you?
Is your challenge waking up early to study? Is it finding a quiet place? Is it remembering what you learned?
Maybe your challenge is feeling tired. Maybe it's losing motivation.
Whatever your challenge is, we want to hear about it. Please share in the comments or send us a message.
You can write something simple, like, my biggest challenge is staying awake when I study at night.
Or, my biggest challenge is finding enough time to study because I work long hours.
Any answer is good. We love hearing from you, and it's great practice for your English writing.
Plus, when you share your challenges, other listeners might have helpful advice for you.
That's true. We're all learning together.
So don't be shy. Share your biggest study challenge with us.
All right, let's wrap up. Today, we had a great conversation about study habits.
We learned lots of useful vocabulary and phrases you can use to talk about how you study.
Remember, the most important thing is to find what works for you. Everyone is different.
Some people study best in the morning, some at night. Some people like quiet, some like music. Some people study alone, some with friends.
There's no perfect way to study. The best way is the way that helps you learn and improve.
So experiment. Try different times, different places, different techniques.
And be consistent. Study a little bit every day if you can.
Thank you so much for listening to Everyday English Podcast today.
We really appreciate you being here with us.
If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a rating and leave a review. It helps other English learners find us.
And don't forget to follow our podcast so you never miss a new episode.
We release new conversations every week about useful everyday topics.
Next time, we'll talk about another interesting topic to help you practice your English.
From both of us, keep studying, keep practicing, and keep improving your English.
Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.